In this video tutorial, we're going to go through the integration between the EcoSAT remote monitoring system and the My John Deere Operations Center. My name's Chris Glanville and I'm Systems Engineer to Station Innovation, and what we're going to show you here is how existing My John Deere Operations Center users can receive their EcoSAT remote monitoring alarms and notifications in that system. This includes both the website, and if you're using the Android or iOS apps, you can get the notifications direct to your mobile device. You must be an existing My John Deere customer, and then we need to gain access to join your EcoSAT remote monitoring system and your John Deere systems together. To begin with, simply go to the EcoSAT login page at www.ecosat.com.au and enter your username and password as you normally would and click login. Now here we're going to show how this works on our test account, which has two water monitoring devices, both called Yellow and the Corner Dam, and you see here that one of them is in an alarm state, and it's highlighted red to show you that. What you want to do is to go to your accounts page and scroll all the way down the bottom, and you'll see here the My John Deere system. Now if you don't have access, this button here will say request access, and it will take you to our contact page where you fill in your name and your details, and you simply request access to your John Deere system by one of the EcoSAT administrators. All we need is your email address and your organizational ID, which you can get from your John Deere system. If you're not sure how to get them, simply get in touch with one of our EcoSAT helpful staff and we'll show you how to obtain that information. Once you do that, our administrators will allow access, and that button will change from request access to settings, as it has done right here. Now if we click on the settings, you can see that the organization that your EcoSAT remote monitoring system is paired to. You can actually synchronize any fields and boundaries from your My John Deere system into the EcoSAT system. Simply turn on the synchronization by clicking on the on-off slider, and then you can choose the layer that you wish for it to appear in the EcoSAT system. We'll go through that a little bit later. If you scroll down a little bit further, you can see the two devices that are on your system, and here I've turned on alarms and notifications for both. You must also choose, because of the way the John Deere system works, you must choose a field that will receive the notifications. All notifications in the John Deere system are associated with a field, and once you have drawn a field or you have an existing field with a boundary on your John Deere system, you'll see it here in this list. If you haven't already got one, you can go into your John Deere system and quickly add one, and come back here and click Fetch Now. And what that button will do is it will go and access the John Deere system and your account, and it will get all the latest changes, and you'll see them appear here. So if you want to make a quick change to your boundary, you simply go and do it and click Save in your John Deere system, come back here and go Fetch, and these fields and boundaries will update. So here what we're doing is we're sending alarms and notifications for both devices to the home field. Now notifications are your scheduled notifications. So if you wish to be notified at 8 AM every day, for example, if that's what you've configured, then you will get a little notice come up in your My John Deere Operations Center at 8 AM every day. If it's an alarm, then you'll only be sent a notification when that sensor reaches an alarm state. Now if we go to our device and we configure our device, obviously we just need to configure our alarm states and our notification states. So if we stick with, say, the device that's named Corner Dam, and we edit the water bullet alarm, it's triggered to alarm when it's below 1 meter, and we could also add a notification time of, say, 8 AM, and there it is. So if this sensor goes below 1 meter or at 8 AM every day, you'll be sent a notification to your John Deere system. Now we can see that it's in an alarm because it is below 1 meter, currently at 869 millimeters. Now when you get to this point, if you simply click the test button, that will trigger a notification or alarm into your John Deere system, and this will confirm that everything's working. So you can see it says test complete. So now we can quickly switch over to the John Deere system and log in and go to your Operations Center, which I've already done. And in here, when you go to your notification center, you can see all of the alarms and notifications that have come in. Now I've generated two notifications to highlight here. This one in blue is a scheduled notification that would be triggered at a predetermined time. It goes off every day no matter what the alarm, the sensor level is reading. It's a notification to let you know your current water levels or electric fence voltage or whatever it is you're monitoring. If you click on it here, you can see that today at 8:51 the reading was 869 millimeters. Now when that sensor reaches an alarm, it goes from, as it is labeled here, an announcement, and it is a severity is info, it changes category to severity high, but still an announcement. And that's how we've configured our system. So you can tell in here which one of these categories are alarm notifications and which ones are scheduled notifications simply by the severity labeling. Alarms are high and notifications are simply info announcements. That's about it. Now when you trigger those notifications, you'll be notified here in this center, but also in your mobile devices. But the other thing that we wanted to go into was if you wanted to synchronize the two systems in terms of fields and boundaries, how you do that. So I'm just going to close this notification center and go back to the map view in the John Deere Operations Center. And it will load. These are my fields and boundaries here. So this one's called the front field, this one called the roadside bend. Now if we go back to the EcoSAT system and we look at the My John Deere configuration page, you can see here we've got front field and there'll be roadside bend. Now here I've said I want to get back river field and the home field, and on the EcoSAT system I'm sending them to a layer called My John Deere. Now if I get rid of that, I should get a list of my existing layers. So you can see in here, if I just drop this box, these are my existing EcoSAT layers, or I could simply create a new one called My John Deere, and then I can tell easily on my map which of the features have come from the My John Deere system and which ones I actually drew. At this stage the synchronizations between field and boundaries is from the My John Deere system to the EcoSAT system only. Now why don't we go and quickly have a look at what that looks like. I'll just save this and click save. Now this synchronizes every night at midnight or thereabouts. And so the page is going to reload, and what I'll do is I'll say fetch now. Now what that'll do is it'll make sure that the current data held in the My John Deere system matches the EcoSAT system. Now this is probably most important. You really only need to click fetch if you've made a change at that time. Otherwise it'll just update every night. So if we simply jump to our map now and wait for that to load. Here it is here. So this is my property. These are my existing EcoSAT fields and boundaries. And if I go to layers, I can see here I have a layer called My John Deere, and in there are the two fields that I've pulled from that system. And if I click on them, you can see there they are there. So this is one of them which matches this field down here, back river field. And if I go back to the EcoSAT map, go to layers, John Deere, and go to home, there's another one. It's on a separate property there. So that's how you synchronize all of your mapping data across to your EcoSAT system. And I've also gone through and shown you how you send your notifications and alarms that are generated in your EcoSAT device through to your John Deere system. It's a little bit convoluted, but we'll be more than happy to help anyone through it and show you how to get things up and running. And I think that you'll find once it's up and running, you just receive your notifications in your My John Deere Operations Center quite easily. We've aimed here at joining these systems into one, preferably the John Deere system, so that users of the John Deere system don't have to understand and learn a completely separate system. They can already take advantage of a system that they know and they love, and just keep getting and adding to that system by getting the EcoSAT notifications within that. If there are any questions about how this operates or any comments and feedback, we'd love to hear from anyone that uses this system about things they'd like to see improved, and certainly on our end, if there's anything we could do to improve our system, we'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions about our monitoring hardware and how the messages get across from one system to the other, please feel free to either email us at info@ecosat.com.au, or you can call our 1300 number, 1300 781 134. There is also a little bit of a blurb on the Station Innovation website. If you just go to www.stationinnovation.com.au/MJD for My John Deere, this page explains a little bit about how this integration has come together. If you have any further questions, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks very much for listening.